Hi everybody, it's Lorraine again. I want to say that the two people that won the giveaway have not contacted me yet, so I'm going to wait another 24 hours, and if I don't hear from them, from Tanya White and Beach Bum, I will select two more names. Anyway, I'm going to credit Deb for this article, and it's How to Land on the Government Watch List by Cristen Conger. Just like Santa Claus, the U.S. government has its own version of the naughty list. But this one doesn't record boys and girls who fibbed or acted mean to schoolmates on the playground. Instead, the U.S. government is consolidated terrorist watch list, keeps track of people who are known or suspected terrorists. These are the people the U.S. government doesn't want to board planes, enter the country, or obtain a visa without a lot of hassle. While the government makes no secret of the list's existence, its official contents are off limits to the public. That's because the federal government believes if terrorists are aware of being on a watch list, they will become more vigilant and tricky in committing heinous crimes. Sort of like when I'm on my riding lawnmower, cutting the grass, or walking on my driveway at 52 Sutton Drive in Manalapan, New Jersey, and I was labeled a terror threat. Before September 11 attacks, more than a dozen watch lists were floating around different federal agencies. The source is the U.S. Department of Justice. Now those records have been consolidated into one master list, maintained by my favorite Bureau of Investigations, Terrorist Screening Center, the TSC. The development of TSC and the master list grew out of Homeland Security's Presidential Directive 6 signed by President Bush in 2003. The directive outlined the federal government's plan to combine all former watch lists into one master list of people known or appropriately suspected to be or have been engaged in conduct constituting, in preparation for, in aid of, or related to terrorism. The number of people fitting that bill has ballooned from 325,000 reported in 2006 to around 755,000 names and people at home and abroad as of May of 2007. That figure includes aliases and different spellings of the same name. Although the federal government won't reveal the precise statistics, officials have reported that U.S. citizens only make up a minority of the list. Come on, folks. Do you believe that? So what exactly do you have to do to land on this list? All you have to do is tell the truth. These are convicts, average folks, or truly frightening people with a penchant for bombs. Read on to find out what will get you on and off the government watch list. Actually, nothing will get you off the watch list, folks. Getting on the watch list isn't exactly like making prom queen, but it does require nomination. An agent from the FBI, NSA, or other federal agency nominates you. Then that nomination moves to the FBI's Terrorist Review and Examination Unit. If you check out as a known or potential terrorist, it's on to the Terrorist Screening Center and the watch list. What exactly does it mean to be appropriately suspected as a potential terrorist? Well, the FBI and the federal government remain tight-lipped about specific qualifications continually, referring back to the generic guidelines established in the presidential directive. Besides having a criminal record for terrorist-related activities or known associations with terrorists or terrorist organizations, there are other ways people get pegged for the list. Active membership in some extremist groups could get you on the spot. For instance, the eco-extreme group Earth Liberation Front has been the focus of the FBI's investigation of property damage members have caused. The FBI calls this group's activities special interest terrorism. Oh my goodness, what will they think of special interest terrorism? But if you're concerned that reading How Stuff Works article and how easy it is to steal a nuclear bomb will set off the Fed's alarm systems, don't worry. Unless you actually attempt to steal a nuclear bomb yourself, you're probably fine. So what about all those average Joes who've been stopped and searched by government officials? Are they terrorists in sheep's clothing? More likely, they have the misfortune of sharing the same name as someone on the terrorist watch list. If your name matches a name on the list, you're probably flagged for things regulated by federal government, such as air travel, border crossings, and even getting a speeding ticket. From December 2003 to May 2007, 53,000 people were stopped because their names matched ones on the list. However, most of these people were questioned and released because there was a lack of evidence that the person was a terrorist. To see what can happen when you're on or mistaken somebody on the list, learn how to get off. To go on to the next page, getting off a government watch list. If you're on the terror watch list somewhere in Northern Virginia, someone in the Terrorist Screening Data Center, the TSC, is looking at you on a screen. Not a real-time image of you, but rather a colored dot showing your location. But how can you know whether you're on the watch list if the government doesn't disclose the information? Will you know when men in trench coats and shades follow your every move? The easiest way to find out is to take an airplane trip. It doesn't matter the destination, just try booking a flight and see what happens. The Transportation Security Administration that oversees air travel in the United States will automatically flag anyone with a name on the TSC's master list. As a result, when you arrive at the airport, someone will likely pull you aside for an extensive security check and possibly questioning before permitting you to board. Being repeatedly stopped at an airport could also signal that you share the same name as someone on the watch list. This screening feature has botched many travel plans for regular citizens. Considering the example in 2004 when someone named John Lewis made the government watch list, after that, every John Lewis, including the well-known civil rights activist and Georgia representative of the same name, had trouble boarding a flight. Another alternative is to check the public list of specifically designated nationals and blocked persons that the U.S. Treasury publishes. Now, I didn't know that, folks. I'll read that again. Specifically designated nationals and blocked persons that the U.S. Treasury publishes. They're claiming this is a public list. These people are prevented from doing any financial business in the United States, including opening bank accounts or obtaining loans. Although this is a different list from the master that the TSC maintains, if your name matches one on the list, you'll probably want to have it removed. If you're sure you aren't a terrorist and don't have any intentions of becoming one, there is a redress process that can get you downgraded or removed from the list. Just contact the relevant federal agency and file a redress complaint. For example, if you're having trouble at the airport, contact the Transportation Security Administration and complete the paperwork for the Department of Homeland Security redress program. Then this information will be passed on to the TSC's redress unit that evaluates any necessary changes. From 2005 to 2007, 35% of people who complained were kept on the list, while 45% were either granted a lower security level or removed from the list. To get through the process, you'll need some patience, because the average wait time for resolving a complaint is 67 days. With so many people being identified as possible terrorists, it may seem nearly impossible